Thank you for clicking on the video. Welcome back to the channel. This is another review for Good Girls, Season 4, Episode 8, Broken Toys. So, we got little Rio, little baby Rio. Well, he ain't a baby. He like 8. And he's so cute. This little boy is so cute. But anyway, little Rio is drawing in the kitchen. He's at the table with his brother cousin. And his grandmother, she in there baking cookies, and she's, butchering the cookies because she done used some bad eggs, and so the cookies ain't tasting right. Then we see grown-up Rio, Rio in 2021, and, excuse me, I think it's 2020 at the time. Even though, we in fictional world, so we ain't got no masks, we ain't got none of that. Anyway, Rio's at the bar with Beth, and he tells her, basically she gonna have to double cross the Secret Service duo, and she got to give him something. She's worried that they just gonna snatch the deal right off the table if they end up finding out that she's working with him again, or that they're being double crossed. The deal will be off the table. Rio, he don't care though. He's like, there are worse places that you can end up. Get my drift, sis? And she's just like, but don't you need me? And he's like, yeah, I need you, but I don't need your family. You feel me? And, so it's really not an option at this point. Then we see Beth. She's filling the girls in, on Rio's little plan. And Annie and Ruby are like, all right, girl. Girl. Like, what we doing here? Who we working for now? Like, what gives? Okay. He has them printing, and they have to do it under the radar. Like, he got them, pulled them back in. Meanwhile, the Secret Service duo, they're at the hotel pressed, of course, because they feel like their case is, the bottom is falling out. They feel like in a minute, DC is going to be like, let's wrap it up. We're no longer going to fund this case. We'll fund the investigation. And so they got to move fast. They got to think of something. Back at the trap, Ruby, she's worried about the duo, taking their deal off the table, like I said. And, Beth is like, well, what you think Rio gonna take? Our kids, our husbands, Annie, like, yo, baby, it's worse with Rio. The consequences are worse with him. Back at the hotel, the Secret Service duo, they're thinking that Beth might cover for him. And, she may be in on it or whatever. Because Rio is stupid hot. I mean, he is. At the trap, the girls, they're feeling like they've been set up for the okie doke, on both sides. Well, mainly with Rio. The fact that they're back to printing money for him again. Now we got Dean. He's out, bike riding with his neighbors. One of the guys notices his ankle monitor and, asks him, so what was prison like? And Dean gives this fabricated story about, it being basically, he told him, what he say? I can't remember, but he tells them this story about his cellmate, because he said he had his own cell, and they're like, how'd you manage that? And he tells him, well, me and my first cellmate, we got into a little altercation, and I had to beat him within an inch of his life, and I, bit his nose off with my teeth. And they looking like, oh my, over noodles? And Dean, like, he busts out laughing or whatever. I'm just jiving, y'all. I'm just jiving. The guys are impressed, though, with Dean's poker face and his ability to just, come up with these stories and, and get people, to really hang on his every word. And they basically say, like, they slide in. Oh, yeah, by the way, have you ever heard about, 5 links? Anyway, he tells him about, like a multi-level marketing type of situation. It's a pyramid scheme, but they sell male, facial products, get you a whole little skin regimen going. And so Dean is interested. They have his ear. Stan, he's giving this speech to the ladies at the strip club. You know, do you have benefits? You know, do you have dental? You know, like what's going on with that? Like, how does he treat you? Like, let's talk about that. And it's almost like he's trying to unionize the women, but he's really just trying to turn them against the boss. And you know, he's basically trying to rally them all up, rally them together on his side, so that we can get the boss man up out of here in some kind of way. Stan gets home with Ruby and he's telling her the plan. You know, he's like, the girls are basically going to boycott. Like, we ain't taking our clothes off no more. And she's like, okay, so if they don't do that, people there to see the booty. So, like, the customer's going to stop coming. He's like, that's the point. You get me. And she's like, I mean, but he can just fire all of y'all. And then what? I mean, and then we'll just do a sit-in. She's like, that's the dumbest shit I done heard today. Okay, that's real dumb. We're not doing that. He gonna take a sip of his drink. Yeah, that's what the lady said too. Stan, you got to think again. Think again. Beth, she's having her little brown liquor in the hot tub that's still in the living room. And it's chaos going on around her. Her kids are bickering over a toy. Dean over there like, you don't like a little help here. You don't see these kids arguing? And while he's doing that, Beth is just sitting there like with this blank stare, like she's just glaring in space, brainstorm. You know, that's when she's doing that, her wheels are turning and she's trying to come up with some kind of plan. And the kids end up de-escalating the situation on their own. You know, the older brother just is like, here, you can have this toy. It's a broken toy. You know how that is, because that's what I be doing to my kids when Eden and TJ fight over, you know, a toy. It's like, here, Eden, girl, here, girl. Take this one. Take the controller that ain't plugged in. God damn, girl. But that's what you got to do with kids sometimes. You know, you got to, you know, psych them out. Even if it's just for a little while. Because eventually that girl going to find out that that toy don't work. And she going to be back like, you going to share the toy that you playing with or not? Anyway, the girls, they meet at the trap. And they're confused, of course, because they just made the drop for Rio or whatever. Wait a minute. Yeah, they just made the drop for Rio. And Beth is like, yeah, this one is not for Rio. So, like, we back to make some more money, to print some more money for something else. It's for somebody else. And, you know, of course, they're like, well, I mean, what is this for? And she tells them that they're going to make a good toy and they're going to make a bad toy. The good toy that they're going to give to Rio. The bad toy they're going to give, you know, to the Secret Service duo. And Annie's like, okay, so basically we finna set somebody up. Yep. Who we gonna set up? Before she says it, of course, you know, we going to commercial. Teenage Rio is training in boxing or whatever. And we also see brother cousin at some golf club, you know, country club type of situation. And he's a golf caddy. And he in there, you know, smoozing and brown nosing up to the white man. And, you know, helping him out, cheating for him and all of that. And Rio is, you know, still boxing or whatever. And he gets a call. He late for work. He gets there. He too works at the golf club, you know, at the country club place. And brother cousin like, I ain't gonna do this for you again. I ain't finna just be covering for you. You know, you need to make it to work. You know, you got to get your head in the game, because that white man he was brown nosing with ends up giving him a really large tip. You know, he hold up the money like, this where your mind need to be, where the money reside. Beth is home collecting and doing laundry. And she's, you know, also washing this money. And just as she's about to start, you know, doing her laundry, you know, sorting out her laundry, she get a knock at the door. And it's brother cousin. Brother cousin done dropped by with her cardigan that she left over at the house. And he basically kind of almost like lets himself in, you know, I need to talk to you. So what business do you really have with my brother? Like, he really asking all these questions, you know, saying to her, basically trying to get her to leave Rio alone, almost like, a girl like you shouldn't be working with the likes of him. Like, you know, anybody wearing a cardigan shouldn't be involved in nothing Rio got going on. So what's y'all deal? She just says that they friends, whatever, you know, colleagues. He gives her this flyer and, you know, says, tell all your friends, and ends up leaving. The girls, they at the club with their bag of counterfeit money. and they offering it to Stan's boss, you know, whatever. And that's who they gonna try to frame or whatever with the counterfeit money. He changes the subject and he over there asking Annie, you know, well, how tall are you in heels? You know, how much you weigh? You know, you look like you a good fit. You look like you got a gymnast build thing going on, you know. Perfect for the strip club. And Beth is like, excuse me. Let's get back to the topic at hand about this money. We want to buy Stan out. You know, we want to go on and pay his debt. And he looking at them like, not gonna happen. Stan is that's a good buck. Stan is a good one. You know, it'll be hard to find somebody like him. And he's like, I don't do business with bitches, so sorry guys. He not with it. So they gotta figure out another way to get this money in this club. Of course, they home now, you know, brainstorming or whatever, how they gonna get it inside. Beth throwing out bad ideas, Ruby throwing out bad ideas, and Annie got the bright idea. Annie's like, I mean, it's a strip club. Duh. How else we gonna go in there and get the money in there? We gonna go in there and make it rain. So that they do. They go in with their bride-to-be sashes on, their whole bachelorette clique, and they go in there and they, you know, drop all the money in the club. And they, at the same time, they've called, you know, Secret Service duo to come on in there in the middle of the night. They in their drunk boots. And, you know, she's like, you said, you know, you wanted to know where it all went, you know. So here we are. She asked a waitress because the guy's like, this isn't enough for the DA. And Beth asked a waitress for, you know, change for some of that counterfeit money. And she shows them a counterfeit bill. And she's like, is this going to be enough? And then we see we're back in time again, and teenage Rio is at work he's at the locker room or whatever, and he sees this guy, you know, a club member. And as soon as that man shut that locker and walks away, Rio go right on in there and steals from him. And when he closes the locker, brother cousin is right there watching. So he saw the whole thing and just tells him, so-and-so needs, you know, a caddy, needs help. They need help with the golf clubs. I'm thinking, you know, he was going to let it slide, but that is not what happens. Beth, you know, we're back in real time. Beth, she pulls up on Rio's brother cousin at the little place that, you know, he had the flyer for, which was a, you know, a community type of situation. He's a councilman. And he and the at-youth risk are at-youth. He and the at-risk youth are out at this place and they're planting trees. And, you know, Beth, she's there to do her part. But she's also got her good eye on brother cousin. Secret Service duo. They, you know, they have Stan's boss in the interrogation room, and, you know, they show him the counterfeit bill, and, you know, he's immediately like, what's this? I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. And then out of nowhere, he starts spilling his beans on everything because he think that they got him. You know, when they start mentioning his boss, he's thinking, you know, they on the same page. And so he starts to confess to everything he's ever done for said boss, his boss. And at the end of it all, because he ain't mentioned Rio not once, they show him a picture of Rio and they're like, so is this the boss? He's like, who is that? Who the hell is that? I don't know who that is. Don't know who that is. The Secret Service girl, she pop up on Beth in there finishing up an order. And, you know, she's like, oh, thanks, girl, for getting us that guy. You know, he confessed to everything but knowing Rio. He say he ain't have no involvement with Rio. And she's like, he's lying. He's like, oh, no. He mentioned everybody he's ever worked with, and everybody but Rio. Yeah, no. Secret Service girl says, you know, remember that time that I asked you to go get juice and you was like, you had to go pick up the kids. Like, was you being honest? And Beth is like, I mean, well, damn. I mean, you want to go get some damn juice? We can go get some juice. She just hands her a warrant like, girl, we going to be rounding y'all up tomorrow. That's just that. Of course, Beth is like, we got more time. Please, girl, not yet. She just says, listen, pick a side. That's all I'm saying. Pick a side. Then we see Beth meeting with Rio. You know, he all excited. That's my girl. I knew you was going to look out, girl. I knew you was going to do the right thing. Soon as he sit down, we start hearing some sirens, you know, because he asked her, who's more fun, me or the van people? And she's like, what do you think? Them sirens start blaring in. They getting closer and closer and closer. Rio sitting there looking cheap, you know, and betrayed and just let down. And, of course, the police swarm in. The Secret Service duo been listening in the van the whole time. They swarm in and arrest Rio and Beth. And he's just looking at her like, you dirty bitch. Girl, you dirty rat. All right. All right, I see you, girl. Teenage Rio. And that was, listen, that pissed me off. I was mad in that moment. Like, Beth, girl, for real? And two, Brutus? For real, girl? No. Anyway, teenage Rio is cooking with his grandma. And, you know, we see he's heading into work, and he gets to the locker room. And brother, cousin in there with the police setting him up. Oh, yeah, that's the guy. So this is another time where somebody Rio trusted just really threw him under the bus. And he went to jail behind that. Beth gets home from sending, you know, she done sent her man up the river. And Dean in the hot tub with the homeboys from the biker club or whatever. And Beth is walking through the house, and she's just all stoic, you know, like in this fog. And Dean notices and goes and checks in on her, and she's like, we did it. Like, we got him. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. He's just, they both sit there, you know, just stunned, like, I can't believe we finally got his ass. Dean, wait. Okay. I was about to skip something. Anyway, back at the precinct, the Secret Service duo, they think they finna go in there and interrogate Rio. And, you know, they walk in like, oh, we're a higher rank, let us in. Them people like, no. The people from my higher up said, you know, it's done with, we not to let nobody back there. And, you know, they kind of bum rush their way through anyway. And it's a goop. It's a goop, because when they get there, Rio is gone. They don't let Rio walk. The DA didn't press no charges. That's that. So they standing there looking cheap. Rio, we see him walking out the police station, and his brother cousin waiting. So that's who, you know, got him out. He got pulled. He the councilman. He got auto pulled. And brother cousin is like, you owe me. He say, listen, add it to the list. He say, so now what we do about her? And he's like, I know what you want to do. And he say, listen, I don't see it no other way. Brother cousin says, well, that's why you got me. Ruby, she home folding clothes, and Stan comes in there pouring up a shot, you know, asking her about all these charges that were brought up on his boss. So basically, they don't have no more issues with him, because he in jail, and he gonna be in there a while with all of those charges. Then we see Dean. He's showing Beth, you know, his new facial regimen. He's like, what side looks best, this side or this side? Because he been using his skin products. He got all his products out there laid on the counter, you know, showing her what he's up to. And she's proud of him. She's like, you gonna get it, you know, you gonna do the thing. You gonna do the thing. You got my support. Wholeheartedly. And, you know, she sends him on his way because he got a little meeting. You know, she, you know, feeling herself, because she feel like she just done did, you know, she done did the right thing. And she's walking back to her room or whatever, you know, getting ready for bed. And soon as she flipped that switch in her room, Rio sitting in the room, just sitting back. Oh, don't be scared. Don't be startled. That was in my Shanae voice. Anyway, he's sitting up there in that chair. And of course she immediately starts pleading, you know, her case, you know, like, please don't hurt my kids. Don't do it, please. He's like, shh, don't wake the kids. He says, I ain't gonna hurt nobody. Then we see back in time again, and we see Rio, you know, when he got home from jail doing his little stint. Brother, cousin comes in there with a case of beer. You know, a little, sorry about that, but I had to do it. He starts pulling out these, you know, wads of cash. That boy been playing the long game, you know, all this time, basically buttering up to them people so he can just, take from them right up under their nose. They won't suspect anything because, he's in good with them. He one of the good old boys. He done got his little promotion and all of that. Listen, he got a key, I guess. He a key holder. So yeah, he can dip in the jar a little bit, and now he's about to bring Rio into the fold. Basically, that's what Rio wants to do. He's like, because we're back with him, he and Beth standing there talking, and basically, now we can do whatever we want. We have them right where we want them. Like, they'll trust you. They'll believe anything that you say. We can do whatever we want. So no, Beth, you are not done. It is not over with. Not until Brother Cousin say so. Because Brother Cousin seemed like he's the boss, and he's who, Beth was there to meet. Sort of, kind of, because he say the boss was grandma, but nah. Brother Cousin is the one pulling strings. He the one with the pull. Yeah, he's involved in this. Yeah, now that Beth done turned him in, like, they'll believe anything, and that's pretty much where it ends out. They back working for and with Rio. The previews for the next episode, and it's the mid-season finale at that, or the spring finale, I should say. It looks like it's gonna be good, though. It's gonna be good. They still, working with Rio. Y'all ain't gonna never get rid of Rio unless y'all get rid of Rio. And they tried that. And then the hitman fell in love with Beth and didn't want her out here doing stuff like that. So that fell through. But yeah, Beth, you and Rio, us never part, okay? Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's Call Me Busby, and I'll chat with you later. Peace and light.